I cannot believe this evil I see. Lord, it takes away the air inside of me. How can I breathe?
I went to my knees and said, God, I know there's more, isn't there? There's more, and it's worse. When doctors delivered babies, they would be alive and then snap their necks and break their necks and beat them with thongs and drown them. I was a woman of the 60s and 70s. I bought into the Planned Parenthood pap of the baby was a simpler piece of tissue, and I had 2 abortions. And it wasn't until our son died a number of years ago, 8 years ago, that I started on my spiritual journey and focused in on a God-centered life, and ultimately came to the realization of abortion being murder. I guess November 11th, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I read the Washington Times editorial by Mona Sharon on the trafficking of baby body parts, which was probably the most horrifying thing that I'd ever read. I was shocked to find out that they were manipulating these abortions so that they would have live births and fresher tissue to get more money. As an abortion patient myself, I knew that I had no conception that this could ever possibly be, and I felt so responsible for these babies. My heart was ripped out. I couldn't believe not only had I tapped into the lies about abortion, but now, to add insult to injury, my child and other people's babies were being sold for body parts. I had offered myself up to be used by the Lord on numerous occasions since my realization of my abortions being true sins. I knew when I had seen the video from Life Dynamics that this was it, that this was a heart cry. It touched my heart. I needed to do something, and this was so outrageous nobody could turn away from it. Nobody could possibly think this was correct. Once I got the material from Life Dynamics, the video, I took it to my VCR and I put it in.
I'm Mark Crutcher, president of Life Dynamics Incorporated in Denton, Texas. For the past 2 years, we've been conducting an investigation into the link between the abortion industry and fetal tissue research. What we have uncovered is a system in which the parts and sometimes the whole bodies of unborn children are being marketed like used cars.
It took my breath away. It was just, the information was enormous. The abuses, the things that I had not realized were taking place as a mother were just so horrible. I knew I had to do something more about this, and that it had a life of its own, and that this was going to help get light on a dirty, ugly corner, a black corner. And I think that getting the knowledge out there that these things are going on is what's going to change people's minds, and women specifically. There are abuses that are so enormous that the average person doesn't know about this.
Hi, this is Missy Smith with W.A.K.E.U.P. Hey, thanks for calling back.
My feeling had been from the very beginning that if I could start something like Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD, that it would catch on and I could touch the hearts of people. And so this was what I wanted to do, an acronym, get an acronym that cut to the core of what this meant. And so, well, after we prayed, all the women, the 5 of us, we came to the realization that W.A.K.E.U.P was the acronym that we were looking for, that Women Against the Killing and Exploitation of Unprotected Persons was what would touch the heart of women, and that would really get the message out. Wake up. Wake up. We gather as an organization to get out the hardcore evidence of the trafficking of baby body parts. That's our purpose.
Nice to see you. Great to see you girls. Thanks for coming.
Life Dynamics publishes a booklet that contains over 50 orders placed for aborted baby parts. Places like Johns Hopkins and National Institutes of Health and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia are placing orders. These are mostly healthy, late-term aborted babies. The Planned Parenthood clinics that are dealing in these baby body parts need to be named. Federal Express, Airborne, all of the entities that are at risk. I think if the American public at large knew this, they would be horrified. The mainstream secular press is not picking this up.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing.
That's the very big thing. We need to get the media on this. We need to find out about all the universities and all the other hospitals that are using these products.
Exactly.
I think that's very important.
You know, the one thing that might impact the emotions of the people in schools, the ones that are really having to deal with this issue, you know, upfront and personal, they don't probably know. They understand abortion and they know what the choices are about it, but they don't know what's going to happen
To their babies. You're absolutely right.
And I mean, you can really, if they don't have the soft heart to say no to abortion, if they understood what was going to happen to a piece of them.
As one by one they realize what they've done, a tiny cry that calls beyond the grave, and their voices ring in similar outrage. How can I breathe?
Jean Rickard is one of our founders of W.A.K.E.U.P. She works in a crisis pregnancy center. Recently, she counseled a woman who wanted to have an abortion.
She was 21 years old. She was in college and just graduating in June, and she had gotten a good job already, but she insisted that this was the way it was going to go. She just got her apartment. She had gotten a new car and a brand new job. She just had no room in her life for this baby. It wasn't financial reasons. It wasn't insurance reason. She just wanted no part of this baby. And she was walking out the door. I mean, I spoke to her for a good hour. After, when she finally got up and went to leave. And I said to her, I handed her a copy of this fee for services. And I said, just make sure you get the money that they're going to get from your baby. And she looked down and she read it and she said, what are you talking about? I said, when you have that abortion, they're going to cut up your baby and they're going to sell the parts. That's what all of this is about. And she said, they wouldn't do that. I said, oh yes, they would. And they are doing it.
It is
And
here.
that's when she said, I could never have this abortion.
Wake up. It's not just the murder of the child, but now the selling of baby body parts. I hope that what I can do with W.A.K.E.U.P. is touch the hearts of millions of mothers who have had abortions. We were told that it was nothing but a piece of tissue, and we bought into it. And it's a mother's heart cry. We're connected forever and ever to this little spiritual being that no longer is physical but is spiritual. And it'll never be requited until we are sorrowful and we do admit that we have actually done that. And we have to stand up for it to change.
Wake up, wake up. How can we close our ears? How can we close our eyes? How can I
Learn the facts. Contact W.A.K.E.U.P. P.O. Box 175, 4200 Wisconsin Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20016, or call 202-667-9448 for your information packet today.
Don't take my breath away. Don't take my breath away. Don't take my breath away. breath away.
Once women realize what they have done, you'll begin to hear the outraged cries of mothers rise up from all over this nation.